Also,
well, I got myself a new job at the foam rubber factory. Now I'm going to go find myself a wife and have some kids.
Yeah. David literally said that. He's like, I remember the day that I saw Ted the happiest I'd ever seen him. He came home and he said, I went on an evening with my supervisor and we shared some conversation and we shared a kiss at the end. Can you imagine smelling his mustache first of all? Just like, and so, but then that didn't last too long because she said that they didn't have enough in common.
They had nothing in common because she didn't want to blow up humans.
But then he started hounding her pretty bad.
And he got fired because of it.
He didn't enjoy rejection.
No, he did not. And this is when he decides that he's going to have to live off of the land.
Oh, yeah, he's a pussy. Yeah. He's a pussy baby. Yeah. He flipped out as soon as one girl said no. And it's just like, I can't handle rejection. Try being an actor.
Right. I mean, this guy was an asexual, though, anyway.
I don't think he was.
I can't imagine that he was that interested in women, though, at some point.
He was probably fucking a log out there. He had to
I'm
do
sure
something.
he was, yeah. One with nature.
Well, he tries to live alone, but, of course, as he's trying to live alone, there's a lot of development going on around him. A lot of industry is moving in. Perhaps the actual cabin itself in the beginning was isolated.
Sure.
But the entire world started encroaching around him.
Oh, it's like that Dr. Seuss book. Dare I say Dr. Seuss novel?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
The Lorax?
The Lorax.
Yeah. I thought it was Ted Kaczynski. Here's a Who.
It blows it up.
Of course, the last straw came. Of course, he's not happy in academia. He's not happy working at the foam rubber factory.
Nope.
So he decides he's gonna live off of the land. He's gonna be in his little cabin. He's gonna do his little theorems, and everything is fine. But it's said that the last straw was he went to his favorite spot, this secluded spot that he would go to look at nature, muse on whatever theorem he was
Dead
working
Fish
on.
Lake.
Dead Fish Lake.
All the fish were dead and floating at the top.
They didn't care about my milk smell. They were only there to listen.
Screaming at the dead fish.
Fuck you! Fuck! Fuck everybody! Fuck!
Okay, it was another nice day with the fish.
He gets to his favorite spot and he finds that it's been completely destroyed and replaced with a road.
This is literally the Lorax.
Yeah. It really is.
It kind of looks like the Lorax.
What came first, by the way? Ted or the Lorax? I think Seuss stole the story.
Well, this is what Kaczynski's, because we're gonna have to read some of Kaczynski's stuff.
Oh, we're gonna
while we're especially next episode when we get to the manifesto. But this is just still from his journals.
As far as manifestos go, too, really top-notch stuff.
It was kind of hard to read.
It's a little hard to read, but once you find the excerpts, you get somebody to bring the good stuff out.
Right.
There's some good points, but this is still when he's writing in his journals. And by the way, when they found his cabin and when they found all of his journals, he had 30,000 pages of journal entries, and about a third of that was in a mathematical code that when the people when the FBI took it over to the CIA, they said that they had not seen anything to rival this code since the Enigma machine of the Germans in World War II.
Oh, he's a regular Judy Blume over there with his longevity.
He could have been huge.
All right, this is what he says. It was from that point on, I decided that, rather than trying to acquire further wilderness skills, I would work on getting back at the system. Revenge. I certainly don't claim to be an altruist or to be acting for the good, whatever that is, of the human race. I act merely from a desire for revenge.
I will have my revenge!
Of course, I would like to get revenge.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 8:13. I've got to go to the foam rubber factory. I will be back to my diary in exactly 8 hours' time.
On the whole scientific and bureaucratic establishment, not to mention communists and others who threaten freedom. But that being impossible, I have to content myself with just a little revenge!
He really shoehorned communism in there, by the way.
He really did.
I think that's just got to do. Communism is just like he just met like a bunch of cute girls at a sit-in,
right.
and they didn't want to talk to him because he smelled like milk.
So this is all because of road.
It's all because of road, and this is when he decides violence is the only way. And it takes him a little while from that happens until he finally puts some bombs out there. I mean, I think about 5 years or so before he finally gets up the courage to start sending shit out.
I also, and then there's the final statement too of it's like he started planting some bombs. And so he's like, I emphasize that my motivation is personal revenge. I don't pretend to any kind of psychological tools by which society controls people's behavior. My ambition is to kill a scientist, big businessman.
Ooh, a big one.
A big one. So he's all big and he blows up like a whale. Government official or the like.
I mean,
I would also like to kill a communist.
I mean, if I'd have my druthers.
it is funny because this is there does seem to be a lot of Arrested Development here.
Yeah.
This is what you write when you're 13 years old.
Oh, this reminds me of my 15-year-old poetry of just being like, and then it was all just like, and they hear the rattle of the drums, and I with my Uzi show all the jocks.
Yeah.
I too can date Ashley.
Yeah, he's got the emotional development of Dylan Klebold.
Totally.
Yeah,
Of course, from Columbine. That's if you would before Columbine, you were able to get away with some relatively strong worded poetry.
Yes, we call
but
it
nowadays,
fantasy.
yeah, fantasy. Nowadays, you just get put right in the loony bin.
They give you Ritalin, and then all of a sudden all you can do is watch Teletubbies in a fucking strap down.
So
chair.
he's just upset because they ruined his little home.
Yeah, they ruined his little home, and he was just an extremely unstable individual. And he
Montana
decides,
sucks as it is.
Right.
Right? Doesn't Montana suck?
No, it's beautiful
Yeah.
for nature, and if you like to hunt, if you like the outdoors. I
Yeah.
mean, it sucks for people like us who can't survive without a Whole Foods. Yes.
so he decides that reform is not possible whatsoever. And, talking about
Right.
his time at Berkeley and his time at Harvard, he sees all these people saying, we've got to reform the system. We've got to work from the inside, and change everything.
Oh, yeah, and
he's just, and everyone's fucking and doing drugs, and he's
Right.
just sitting there doing his little mathematical theorem.
And
So
he
it could be he's very jealous of those
This
people.
is all. I mean, I can sort of see as far as society goes. That you had the Weather Underground at this time. You had a bunch of internal.
But again, all those people were fucking too.
Groups.
They were all fucking and having a cool time.
They were having a
listening
great
to Jimi
time,
Hendrix.
yeah. But there was everyone was sort of broken off into their own, extremist groups. But they were all doing it to get pussy and to get drugs and stuff and have a good time. And
the
he
other
had
thing is,
nobody
too,
else to go have sex with.
While he was at Harvard, they were sort of pranksters, and so what they would do is they would set up amateur explosives. So a lot of times, and apparently Ted was the one who would take the explosives to the area where it was uncomfortable because again bad at making friends,
Just making them large, too big.
Yeah, and he blew out all the windows of a chemistry lab. That was a thing. So it's he had already kind of started dabbling in bombs.
Weird science.
Again, but that movie was all about getting Bush.
Right.
Yeah, so he figures he keeps calling the techno-industrial system.
Right.
I've got to take down the techno-industrial system, and he thinks through sending mail bombs out, he's going to destabilize the system. People are going to become panicked,
Right.
and the entire thing is going to fall, which is all bullshit. This guy.
I mean, I see the
line of
train
thought.
of
Yeah,
thought
the
there.
train of thoughts there. But I think all this guy, he wanted his revenge. He wanted his revenge. He wanted to kill people, but he needed a justification
Yes,
for it. He's
and
a justification. He's a crusader serial killer, a missionary serial killer.
Yeah, it was what's his name, Peter Sutcliffe.
Yeah.
Who was I'm gonna he kill all the whores.
Yeah, or just pretty much any guy who kills all the whores. Like Gary
Yeah,
Ridgway.
all of them. They were
he's
saving the world. They were purging the world of their sin.
Yeah, that's how Gary Ridgway thought. He's going to kill. He's very much a deep believer in the Bible, so
Right.
he's going to do the same. He's going to purge the world of these people, except
Right.
Ted Kaczynski was such a fucking nerd that he wanted to purge the world of scientists. Scientists and people involved in technology and
So
big
funny.
businessmen.
So had he won,
He would have hated that show Silicon Valley.
would not have loved it. Would not have loved it.
So,
But he would have loved
he
Big
won-
Bang Theory.
Oh, I just think they're so funny. They're funny, and I love their shirts.
It's just nice to see a show about people like me.
$1 million an episode, by the way, for each
Bazinga.
member of that cast. $1 million an episode. So he won.